Picture this. Monday morning. Turnstiles lock, a floor of HVAC zones report nonsense, and several security cameras show a gray screen. Tenants are calling, your phone lights up, and nobody knows whether it's a switch, a power issue, or cabling that dates back to the 1990s.
Welcome to Built, Wired, and Secured. I'm Alex Morgan, and today we're asking when it's worth ripping out cabling and how to do that without breaking everything. Michael and James are here to help translate risk into a plan you can run next week. Let's dive in.
That morning scramble is all too familiar. What breaks if this goes down? Access control trips, cameras go dark, BAS telemetry lies to your dashboard. Everything that depends on those runs cascades.
Right, so it's not one camera, it's a domino of services.
Exactly. People default to blaming switches or devices, but the long pole is often the cabling, mixed contractors, piecemeal upgrades, owner-provided drops. You get a spaghetti riser that never was intended for modern PoE or gigabit traffic. From an operations angle, that masks failure modes until they blow up.
I've seen risers that read like a building's history. Cat 3, coax, bits of Cat 5e, and then a newer bundle slapped in. Maintenance can't manage what isn't visible. A short, disciplined discovery reveals far more than a spreadsheet ever will.
So, how do teams run that discovery without tearing the building apart? Give me a practical shortlist. What do you do first? Michael?
Start small. Identify critical paths, entry points, risers, corridors powering cameras and door controllers. Do wire map and performance tests, but pair those with live service checks. Swap in a known good camera on a suspect run. Run a PoE load test. Log any undocumented splices, junctions, and who currently owns the cable. That combination finds your worst runs quickly.
Quick, tangible actions. Love that. James, any low-tech moves you add?
Talk to the people who actually run the building. Night supervisors, long-tenured techs. They'll point to odd closets and endpoints that don't make sense on paper. Also, keep a test harness handy so you can validate changes before you touch production.
Okay, mapping and testing done. Now the big choice. Rip and replace? Staged corridor by corridor? Or hybrid? I'm expecting some disagreement here.
I'll be blunt. From a risk perspective, full rip and replace is the cleanest. Consistent topology, predictable PoE headroom, known pathways. It reduces hidden surprises long term.
But that's expensive and disruptive. I'm not sure stakeholders will sign off. Why not always pilot first?
I'm not sure I buy that as a universal rule. If your backbone riser fails, pilots don't save you. Backbone needs consistency. My point, rip critical risers where failure would cause unacceptable downtime and pilot elsewhere. You must be explicit about remaining risk and fund spares and fallbacks.
I see both sides. Pilots protect tenants and prove procedures. The practical middle, replace backbone risers for consistency, run pilots on representative corridors, and use temporary mitigations, PoE midspans or adopters where needed. But you must lock down scope, or staged work becomes forever.
Scope creep. That's a governance problem more than a technical one, right? What coordination failures turn staged projects into endless phases?
Exactly. Vendors quote visible work and ignore owner-provided spaghetti. Tenants resist access windows. No one owns rollback. If you don't define decision gates, when a pilot counts as success, and when you stop staging, you get perpetual projects. And spares are too often an afterthought.
Documentation discipline is the other failure mode. If crews finish and don't update diagrams, label terminations, and file the test results, the next team inherits chaos. I require a one-page change record for every cut. What we did, why, rollback steps, and who signed off.
Let's get operational. James, walk me through a pilot cutover play you actually run, from the lab to the maintenance window.
Start with a lab test harness. Mirror the switch, validate PoE budget, and connect representative devices. For the pilot, pick a short maintenance window, early morning. run a pre-flight checklist, execute the cut on one riser or corridor, validate services, and have rollback steps ready. Keep verified spares and labeled terminations. Treat the pilot like repeatable maintenance, not a one-off project.
Short window, lab harness, verified spares. Clear. Michael, what KPIs and stakeholder alignment should accompany that pilot?
Metricize it. Define mean time to restore targets, acceptable packet loss thresholds, and POE headroom. Get property management, tenants, IT, and the vendor to sign off on rollback and the communication plan. Tenants feel disruptions immediately. Clear communication and a single contact reduces panic and bad decisions.
Also, when you fix cabling, expect to discover accidental dependencies, things tied to a run that no one documented. A good pilot cleans those up and prevents future surprises.
Time for 2 short examples. Michael, James, 1 quick case each. What worked, what surprised you, and the smallest pilot someone could run next week.
We once had intermittent camera failures across lower floors. A targeted test on the riser found a marginal backbone splice. We scheduled a 2-hour cutover in a prearranged window, had a spare camera on site, and validated service before sign-off. What surprised me was tenant trust once they saw a tested rollback. Smallest pilot, replace a single riser and prove restore under 30 minutes.
On my side, we replaced closet drops feeding a couple of critical tenant suites, using temporary POE mid-spans to keep everything live during the work. The pilot process and daily changelog kept it tidy. Surprise, a lot of undocumented endpoints turned up, and fixing cabling let us clean accidental cross-connections. Smallest pilot, a single tenant suite with representative devices. Test, cutover, document, hand back.
Before we close, 3 immediate actions listeners can take this week. Michael first.
1. Run a focused discovery. Test 10 critical runs representing backbone and tenant services. 2. Create a 1-page risk register, linking cable condition to business impact. 3. Define pilot success metrics and get stakeholder sign-off before any cut.
I'll add, label and document during any maintenance this week. Stand up a test harness to validate changes off-site. And pick the smallest pilot you can run with a rollback under 30 minutes. Reliability grows from disciplined, repeatable steps.
If you want a tight starting point, download the GDS 1-page cabling migration checklist and pilot runbook at gds.tech/checklists to run your first pilot next week.
And one last practical note. Budget for spares and test harnesses. They're inexpensive insurance. Without them, a failed cutover costs more in downtime than the pilot itself.
Label both ends. Seriously, future you will thank present you.
That wraps up this episode of Built, Wired, and Secured. Today, we covered how to find hidden dependencies, choose a migration strategy that balances risk and disruption, and run pilots that protect operations and tenant experience. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us. Until next time, make sure the systems you're responsible for are built to last, wired with intention, and secured for the real world.